Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Where we are at the Spizot. Place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Today we have Stephaine Felice Singleton.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about some really nice stuff. Some bonding of women issues. You know, women, I say it because I'm a woman. We are like crabs in a barrel sometimes, always trying to pull each other down. I'd love to lift up my queen. I love to tell her that she's beautiful, that she's smart, that she's talented, that she's enough. All of that is important. To have good girlfriend trips. Now, I'm a little strange on the girlfriend trip. We got this little we do this, that's saying, now, look, you're getting on my nerves. I'm tired. I'm going to the room. But, but to have a confidant, somebody that you can really trust, somebody that you can banter back and forth with.
Yes.
Ideas, make money. All this is so important. So she is the chapter director for the Ladies League of Jacksonville. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the anthology that she's a part of. A lot of times, brains, people get lost in an anthology. They get lost in the pages. They don't know that you on page 45 and the person on 35 might have been born as all heck and they don't get to you. So we want to talk about that. We want to talk about the writing process, the thought process, and the collaboration, what this book was all about. But most importantly, her story, her journey, and her truth. What has all this cost her, bought her, and taught her about this thing we call life? So let's welcome her to the edge. How you doing, Stephaine Felice Singleton? I like to say
Hey, April Mahoney. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Me and the brains is on top of the world. Yes, we are.
All right.
Yes,
I love it.
Here, and here's to you, darling.
Here's to you as well. Cheers.
Cheers. So tell us a little bit about how you show up in the world.
Let's see. Well, I was born on the east side of Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? To all my Detroit people. Yes, that's what we say. That's how we greet each other. What up, though? And I am the oldest of 3 children. All of my family is still back in Detroit. And, growing up, I've always been an avid reader and writer. So that's how I've been showing up in my world. Always being there for people, reading, writing, and, just unconsciously, I was a life coach and didn't even know I was a life coach. So that's why I'm getting certified now. So that I can start, getting that coin for all the wonderful gift that I bring to people. And just being able to really find who I am has been a part of that life journey. You know what I mean? And it's been a process. There have been some down times. There have been a lot of good times, more up times than down times. But life be lifing. But we got to push through. So yeah,
we have to forge ahead, and we can't get stuck.
No.
Sometimes I say, now you got to sit with some stuff, and
True,
you got to marinate like a good filet mignon. You got to marinate in it. However, you got to put that sucker on the grill and let it sizzle.
That's right.
Because you cannot get stuck in it. Life is moving on, and it will leave you behind if you are not at the top of your game. Now, you said life coaching.
Yes.
Let's pull back the layers of that. And just what is your specific niche in life coaching? Because I'll be honest with you, some folks ain't coachable.
True.
Some folks are not your client.
True.
Some folks don't do the work. Now, you can give them all the things you want. You can give them a great recipe, but they still can't make the bread rise.
That's right.
And then there's the other one that's the overachiever that thinks that they're smarter than you. They're the smartest one in the room, and you can't tell them nothing because they know everything.
Right.
So when you're looking for the perfect client, what are you looking for in this new venture?
I'm looking for somebody who wants to be balanced. So my goal is to help women specifically find clarity and let them know that you don't have to have a perfect life to do and go after the things that you want to go after. I'm a Virgo. So by nature, I have this perfectionist persona that I'm really trying to get away from. So in helping women in the life coaching arena, I just want them to find clarity and the confidence that they need to accomplish whatever goal it is that they're trying to achieve. So the clients that I'm looking for are women that want to do the work for themselves. I can't do the work. I'm just a guide. I'm not giving you no answers, none of that. I'm just here to say, okay, I got your hand and I'm going to point out some things, but you ultimately have to make the decision on what it is that you want to achieve and accomplish for yourself.
Exactly.
So I'm just looking for somebody who's really just wanting to, do the work for themselves. And I'm still doing the work for myself. I'm not perfect,
Right.
and I'm not looking for anybody to be perfect.
You ain't perfect, girl. I didn't get that email.
Well, some people have this idea that life coaches have it all together and nothing goes wrong. And no, honey, life be lifing over here all the time.
Okay,
And
but a coaches have coaches.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
And coaches have therapists too. And I try to
Absolutely.
tell our people, Black people,
Yes.
okay? White
Yes.
people, you already hip on it, but Black people, therapy is okay.
It definitely is. It's okay and it's necessary.
And it's necessary, and so if you're not
necessary.
ready to go full throttle, get somebody that is going to be instrumental in offsetting the damages. Like you should.
Absolutely. Because we all have damages. We all have damages, whether we acknowledge them or not. They're there. We have, childhood traumas. We have relationship traumas. And when you hold that stuff in, it does something to your psyche, and it doesn't allow you to move forward, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a whatever, a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally agree with you that therapy is necessary for every single person, I believe.
So tell me a little bit about this anthology, girl. How'd you get involved in that? And what was your chapter about?
So this is so funny. Facebook is how I got in touch with the author of the anthology. And I'm in a reading and writers group. And she was looking for people to contribute to this anthology on child loss. So the anthology was about miscarriage, stillborn, stillbirths, and just child loss in general. And when I saw that, it immediately touched me because I had the unfortunate incident to have 3 miscarriages before I had my very first child. I was in my 20s. Wow. Yeah, very traumatizing physically, mentally, emotionally. And I just wanted to tell my story. I wanted to tell my story because this was 2 years ago. And at the time I was 49. And at 49 years old, that hurt is still there. That trauma, it never leaves you. And I just wanted women to know that if you've suffered any type of loss, miscarriage in particular, because that's what happened to me, I understand. And it's a process that you still go through. I think about how old my children might have been. Would they been boys or girls? And it just touched me so much to be able to share my story, with the world. And the book is called Dear Sarah. There are five stories in the book, and I am on page 48. And the title of my chapter is called Finding Peace in Unfinished Love.
Well, read us a little excerpt.
I sure will. Let's see here. I was devastated. The tears flowed and my heart ached for months. And then I had to come to grips with telling everyone that I had lost my baby. I didn't know how I would recover. The perfection of pregnancy that I created in my mind was shattered. I suffered in silence, quietly trying to mask being okay and trying to make myself believe that it wasn't my fault. If I only hadn't worn heels, if only I had eaten better, if only I hadn't done so much. If only I'd gone straight to the hospital after that fall down the stairs. In my mind, it was my fault, and there was little anyone could say to make me feel differently.
Wow. And that's heavy,
Yeah.
because again, but God makes no mistakes.
No, he doesn't.
He makes no mistakes, and we don't understand.
No,
We're
we
not
don't.
damaged. I had one sister on my show that had 9 miscarriages.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I talked to my aunt before she died, and she had 28 abortions.
Oh my goodness. Woof.
Yeah, right, right.
Wow.
And that was back in the day, before Roe v. Wade.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's traumatizing because we feel as women and females that we're automatic nurturers. But then there's some women that have children. I know another young sister got 10 kids and all of them in the system. All of them. She likes being pregnant.
It's, I want to say it's sad, but then maybe it's not, because who knows what would have happened to those children had they stayed with her. I don't judge anybody for the choices they make,
Right. And it's tough, but when it falls upon you and it's not a choice, then it's a struggle and it's traumatizing. It is traumatizing.
It is, because I have always been a nurturer since I was like 12, 13 years old. I used to babysit kids, and I knew I was going to be somebody's mama.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be a mother. So when the opportunity, came, I got pregnant, I was excited, and, bam, lost a baby, then, 2 more times. And it was just like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
And I want women to know, no matter what age you are, that you suffer this, you're not alone, and it's not your fault.
Right.
And you have support, and we need to talk about this. This is stuff that
Mm-hmm.
needs to be talked about. So
yeah, and if not, you'll never heal. You'll be traumatized forever.
Correct.
So you also write articles for magazines. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I used to write for an online magazine a few years back. The magazine is no longer in operation, but it was called Top Flight. And I wrote little articles. I did an article about people who won the lottery, and typically how they're broke within a 3 to 4 year period. And then
Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there and interject, because you know what? That's another thing. Is this fixation with being an entrepreneur? Baby, you can be ultra poor.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't handle your business, if you don't have good accounting, you don't have good customer service, you don't have good follow-up, you don't have good networking, you don't pay your taxes. Yes. This is not a personal slush fund. You have to understand what running a business is before you try to jump off into this. It's not one of these things that you learn by the seat of your pants.
Oh, no.
You can get jacked up.
Yeah, you can get jacked up. You can go to jail. All that stuff.
all that. And then too, when you call yourself a life coach or any kind of a coach, you are literally holding somebody's life in the palm of your hand. Yes. And I hope that all of you out there under the sound of my voice take that very seriously. Yes. These people have made an investment, not just financially, but spiritually and holistically, emotionally into what you are about to pour into them. They're going to take your advice with their look, with their color, with their scheme, with their messaging, all of that. And if you don't have your shit together, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good, and you're going to be called on it.
Yes. Absolutely. And with the way social media is set up, we in the cancel culture, honey, they will go to war canceling you if they feel like you wronged them in some type of way.
I got into an issue with my neighbor yesterday. I come down the street, I turn around and look, they got a full-on taco shop. all around the corner. Girl, they got the chairs, they got the music. This is a residential community. Oh, okay. Well, I was that Karen. You damn right. I was Karen. I sure
shut it down.
Girl, and called the po-po.
Oh, okay.
I said, really? I said, but I'm not going to argue with you because, girl, they came out the house in droves. I was like, oh, Lord, it's about to go down. I said, no, I'm not going to do this. But you know what? And I have no problem with people making a living wage. I'm down with the hustle. But you can't do that in a residential community. You
No,
take no,
that's
because they gonna replicate it and it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly. And then you can't go back at that point.
right, right.
So, it's just about, knowing when to hold, knowing when to fold, doing your
Yes,
research, doing what's
absolutely.
right, doing what's wrong, getting some buy-in, doing some data
Absolutely.
groups.
And you know, and the thing people, when it comes to the, being an entrepreneur or, people winning a lottery, if you still have a poor mind, I
Girl,
don't care how much
preach,
money you make, your
preach.
mind, you still have a poor man's mentality. So the first thing that you got to do with anything, I don't care if you're an entrepreneur, hit the lottery, whatever, you got to get that mind right first.
Mm-hmm.
And then let everything else come after that, because so many people, like I said, win the lottery. How you a millionaire and you then lost it all in 3 to 4 years?
Girl, wait, and giving it to everybody. You got to
Yeah,
pay taxes on that money. Okay,
absolutely.
and we're talking about they get their taxes off the top. And then
Yeah,
all that else is capital gain. So you got to pay taxes year after year after year.
but
And
see,
you done
people don't
bought mama
understand
a
that.
house and you done bought your nephew a car and all this kind of stuff. No, 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 no. Promissory notes. So
Yeah,
you
and
can
I
get
mean,
that
and there's
money back.
nothing wrong with that essentially, but you have to be strategic on how you do everything. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with a lot of folks, is they're not strategic in their thinking,
No,
and it just
they get excited, but
yeah,
that's that new money mentality. They don't know what that is, and money is energy, brains.
it
Believe and
is.
trust.
It
Believe and
definitely
trust.
is. Yes,
Has a frequency all of its own. So let's talk
absolutely.
about the frequency that you share with these sisters in the Ladies League of Jacksonville. How did you
Yeah.
get involved as a chapter director in this amazing group? And tell me about your sisters.
Oh my gosh, the Ladies League. Let me tell you. So the Ladies League organization started in Detroit. The CEO and founder, her name is Latanya Walker. She's a social worker in Detroit. Um, she found that there was this target audience that she deemed, or she coined, the woman in the middle, that just didn't have the support. So, on one end you have ladies who have a plethora of resources. They have, all the financial resources in the world. Then on the opposite end, you have women on the lower end that might, be able to get assistance of a different sort. But then you have this woman in the middle. I can't qualify for food stamps, but I don't got, $50,000 in my bank account either.
Mm-hmm.
So she realized that there was this group of ladies that needed help. They needed resources, they needed assistance. So she created the Ladies League of Detroit. And I am the chapter director of Jacksonville. And then we also have a Baltimore chapter. I moved to Jacksonville in 2020. And I'm sorry, 2021. I became a member of the Ladies League of Detroit in October of 2020. And I didn't want to leave my sisters, because we have meetings monthly on various topics, and social gatherings and events, and just support. And I met, just the dopest women in this group. So I was like, oh man, I don't want to leave this. So I asked her, I said, well, what do you think about, once I get settled and everything, starting a chapter? And she was like, I'm with that. I like it. So October of 2022, the Ladies League of Jacksonville officially launched. We currently have 13 members. We are always looking to gain more members, more sisters. And it's just a bunch of women coming together, talking about different topics that affect us every day, be it money, anxiety, relationships, trying to start businesses, just a plethora of different topics that we have. We have orientations where we, talk about how the new women can join and things like that. And it is just, we have what we call Sisters Roll Out. That's if you become a member, we have Sisters Roll Out, where we get together and we go have us some drinks or eat, or just having us a good old time. And it's
Mm-hmm.
about bringing women together, because living here in Jacksonville, what I found, that there are so many women who are not native to Jacksonville. And a lot of times when you start over someplace new, I didn't know anybody when I moved here. Now I got 13 new sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just wonderful making these connections, because like you said, there's always this stigma, especially with Black women. We don't get along and we don't this and the other. And I want to prove that wrong. And I'm not saying everything is always, everybody don't get along all the time, but the dynamic is we can coexist together. We can build relationships, personal and professionally. And that's what we're about, growing women personally and professionally, developing each other. And that's what the Ladies League is about.
Well, tell my brains how to get in contact with you or one of the other affiliate chapters so that they can be a part of that experience.
Absolutely. So for the Ladies League of Jacksonville, I can be emailed at info.lljax@gmail.com. And we also have an Instagram account, the Ladies League of Jacksonville. You can inbox there, the Ladies League of Jacksonville events on Facebook. You can also, post, leave a message or, send an inbox. And then for the Ladies League of Detroit and Baltimore, they both have websites. We're still in the works developing our website, but the Ladies League of Detroit.com, the Ladies League of Baltimore.com is where you can go get any more information about those two parts of the Ladies League.
Well, you definitely want to brush up on your sister game, because there's a lot going on and women are really influencers when it comes time to get out and vote about particular issues, when it is about collaboration, particular issues. Even if you're an entrepreneur, you can't do it by yourself.
Absolutely not. And we're not designed to do anything by ourselves. No. And that's the other stigma people, have wrong in life. It's like you can go it alone, but why would you want to when you don't have to?
Right. And you need to hire where you're weak. Everybody can't do everything. You may need a bookkeeper. You may need a marketer. You may need a spokesperson, someone to coordinate your events. You're always going to need somebody. So the best thing to do is to build alliances, strong alliances. And then that way you get to peep folks out too.
That is absolutely true.
You know who to put in certain positions. I remember one time, girl, I have this interviewing question. And I asked him, I said, if you were an animal, what animal would you be and why? Girl, the woman told me she'd be a snake.
Oh, okay. Well,
I hired her.
Okay.
And I hired her because you know what? Somebody got to go in down and dirty and do it. And I didn't want to do it. She said she knew how to get in and get out.
She spoke her truth. You can't be mad at that.
She spoke her truth. But along those same lines, I strategically know where to place her too, and what to tell her and what not to tell.
Okay? Absolutely. Yes.
People will tell them themselves. They will definitely identify who they are and be a good listener.
All the time.
We always want to jaw jack. We always want to just run our mouths. Don't do that. Sometimes just sit there and listen.
I have learned over the years, and I think, being a woman of a certain age, getting to that maturity level, know when to be quiet. You don't always have to talk. You don't always have to have a response. When you sit back and observe and just listen, you gain so much more knowledge than when you can talking. Mm-hmm. You don't have to always talk. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, you talk yourself out of something. That's like yesterday with them neighbors. They came out. I wasn't gonna stand out there and try to, fight and be all that. They said, we put you on TikTok. I said, would you like for me to smile?
Right.
I was sharing my truth. I'll share my truth. And that's, like you said, in this world of social media, we can agree to disagree, but not be disagreeable.
Exactly. And that's what the world needs more of, people like that. It's okay to have different opinions and different thoughts, but when you become so enraged because I don't think like you do or don't believe what you do, what the hell is that about? I'm a full grown person with different thoughts and ideas than you. That doesn't mean we can't have a conversation.
Exactly. And come up with a solution.
Absolutely. And sometimes
That's
the
what I'll be
solution
looking
is
for.
to agree to disagree. That's the solution.
Yeah. And there is not a problem with it. Well, you are agreeable. You're beautiful and wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here on The Edge. Again, give them your contact information. How can they purchase a copy of that anthology? Is that on Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon.com, and it is called Dear Sarah. I'll put the book up again. I don't know if you can see that pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Dear Sarah. And it's like I said, it's 5 different stories in here, just on child loss. And yeah, you can find my information, or you can contact me at info.lljax@gmail.com. The Ladies League of Jacksonville on Instagram, the Ladies League of Jacksonville events on Facebook. And yeah, and I want to build the sisterhood. I want to grow genuine, true sisterhood with these women in Jacksonville, because it's needed. It's definitely needed. We need that support. We need that encouragement. We need to, like you said, make those connections, build those bridges, so we can be the best, most authentic people we can be.
And the best coaches. Okay.
Yes, and the best coaches too.
Everybody needs a coach. Everybody on the team, but you need a coach.
Yes,
and I'm coaching you right here on The Edge. Go in and like, love, and share. Look at this. I'm gonna hold you so you can see it, brains. I need you to like, love, share, and subscribe. Like, love, share, and subscribe. Go in and check out the Ladies League. In Detroit, I'm gonna plug them right now, because Jacksonville, y'all doing pretty good. But down in Detroit, the water's messed up, the school's messed up. You can get a nice piece of property there and revitalize that community from the ground up. Collaborate with people, put your money together, make your money work smarter, not harder. Teach it how to work for you and you not to work for it. Thank you so much again, Stephaine Felice Singleton. Come back and see me again real soon. You in San Diego, girl. You know where to find me.
Thank you so much, April. This was a joy, a great privilege. And, I had a good time chopping it up with you.
All right now. All right, brains. Be good to yourself.